Listen, the way this video almost didn't happen today, the day I've had, the weekend I've had, nonetheless, we're here. It's your girl Keisha, and I got some ish to talk about. So let's get to it. Up close with Keisha. Guys, I apologize in advance. I've been a little under the weather the past couple days, but I'm pushing through. And so if I have a lot going on in this video, hey, we're here and we're making it happen. So there's that. Yeah, I've kind of had like a rough day, a rough weekend. Anyways, and on top of that, I'm frustrated. I can't find one of my books. And actually, in looking for one of the books, I realized I couldn't find two books. And I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and make this video before it don't happen. So I'm here. Let's talk about it. The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. This is like a classic read for me, right? And I think it takes like a special kind of writer to be able to take historical events and turn it into a fictional piece, right? And basically that's what he did in this book, The Nickel Boys. It was based off of the Dozier School for Boys here in Florida. It was up in the Panhandle. It's been shut down for many years, but he tells the fictional story about these two young boys that were in the school, but it's based off a lot of the things that were going on in the actual school. So anyways, I recently found out that it was a movie. And I'm like, how did I, like, what, when? So I said I was going to pull the book out so it'd show, because like, I'm like I'm a book collector. Actually, you know what? I was just told yesterday I was a collector of people. Honey, that's going to change. But I am a collector of books, okay? So with that being said, I actually want to reference a couple of books, right? I don't want to harp on my frustration about not being able to find my copy of The Nickel Boys, but in looking for that book, like searching for that book, I realized that I only have one copy of Where the Crawdads Sing. Now, this right here, I wish I knew like ASMR, because I would like thumb through the pages and make it sound all yummy for you guys. But I actually have two copies of this book. And thankfully, I have my signed copy by the author, Delia Owens. If you have not read this book, it came out like a few years ago, like at this point, I think like 2017, 2018. And if you haven't read it, like, I don't even know what to tell you. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. So I'm just going to move on. Anyways, I realized that I don't actually have my physical copy that I read. And I'm like, there's only one reason why I don't have my copies of my book. That means that I lent them to someone and they probably didn't return it to me. So, meanwhile, you know what book I do have? This book, Stay Sexy and Don't Get Murdered. It was a book based off these girls that have like a podcast or something. This is an old book. I meant to get rid of this book. This was like one of like the worst books I've like ever read. Nonetheless, I have this, but I don't have my copies of some of my most treasured reads. I really got to get my life together. I got to get my life together. Also, I did want to shout out one of the comments that I put in my first video from last week. Someone said that they were reading this classic, The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And if you haven't read this book, I just don't know what to tell you. Like, I feel like if you're on any type of like personal development journey, any type of self-improvement, as James Clear says, if you're on a goal mission to get like 1% better every day and you haven't read this book, then like you're behind, Like, I don't know. I think I read this like every other year, maybe once a year. I've got like highlights all the way through it, honey. Like, this is like a go-to book for you to like get your life in order. Also, I'm gonna save this one for last. This book, my son is actually reading, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. And I'm waiting for him to finish it so we can have a discussion about it, because it was my favorite. And I can't tell you how many copies of this book this man has sold. It was on the New York Times bestseller list for like weeks. It might still be on there. I don't know. I feel like he didn't tell me like anything I didn't already know. Like, I mean, where's some new tea? Like, I don't know. Anyways, I wasn't really a fan. I mean, it was okay. You know, I think Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter by 50 Cent was what this book possibly could have been or should have been. And that was a much better read. But either way, y'all can read both of them. Let me know. But I mean, y'all ain't gonna change my mind. So there's that. So yeah, I'm waiting for my son to finish this book so that way I can get his take on it. And then I told him once he finishes this one, then he needs to read the book, I'm sorry, by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Let me address these people by their author names, okay? Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. I'm curious to see what he says. Last book I wanted to highlight today, just to show, you know, I got a little something in my archive now, you know what I'm saying? I'm locked and loaded over here in my book arsenal. This book, Oprah actually designated this as her book of the month for January, and it's something like she hasn't done it like in many years. She is running a book back, like, and she don't normally do that. Eckhart Tolle, A New Earth. I'm not going to be reading this with her. She said it was life-changing for her. Like, I got some highlights in here, you know, per usual. But, yeah. Let me know what you think about it for the second time, Oprah. I won't be joining you on that. I am thinking about next month bringing back my book of the month, but it's a couple other things I need to kind of get in order up here first before I add anything else onto my list. So, anyways, that's enough book talk for now. We're going to go ahead and shelve that. I did want to transition into another super important conversation, something that I'm literally struggling with a little bit today. Grief. Let's talk about it. Tomorrow will be the anniversary of my dad's Angel Day. He passed Friday, January 13th, 2023. I've never had anything bad happen on like Friday the 13th until like he passed away. So I don't know what that's about. But anyway, hated it, not a fan, do not recommend. Okay. Now, let me give you a little bit of context. I know there's going to be few people on here that know me personally, know my story in detail. So I'm just going to give a quick synopsis. Okay. I was adopted. My parents, it was a closed adoption, but my parents kept it open. So I've always known my biological mom. I did not meet my biological father till 2008. At that time, I found out that a lady that I pretty much grew up with at church was my biological aunt. And then I also found out that I had two brothers, one that's like, I think like 3 weeks older than me, and then a sister that's a couple years under me, and then a baby brother. So there's that. Now, apparently my siblings had a strange relationship with my dad. Their parents had a bad divorce or whatever. Like, that's their story to tell. I know my dad's side of the story, and that's pretty much what I'm sticking to. The divorce did not go well, and after everything, they choose to kind of side with their mom. Neither here nor there. So, nonetheless, years after I met him, I end up starting a relationship with my sister. And I was so excited because growing up, I was wondering, like, I wonder if I have a sister. I wonder if we look alike. If you ever hear us talk, if you ever hear us laugh, like, you could tell like we're sisters, right? I'm not gonna like share no pictures or nothing like that, whatever. I'm gonna let her keep her right to privacy or whatever. So anyways, moving forward, my dad passed suddenly last year. Like, I mean, when I tell you, like, as Nene Leakes would say, like, I was in shock. Okay, I'm still in shock. Like, I'm like, I don't even know what happened. Nonetheless, we get with his wife, and we go to the funeral home. We make arrangements, everything closer towards the date of, as we get closer towards the date for the service, like things got a little weird. Like she was talking tough to my aunt, and just being weird. Like I'm like, okay. Then again, like she's this color. I don't know what the YouTube rules are, so I'm gonna keep cute. So I know, like, maybe they do something different. I don't really know. I haven't really participated in a lot of services on that side. Now, my dad black, okay? I'm gonna show y'all some. I'm my daddy up, okay? And so I know how we do things on this side. The other side, I don't know. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's just different. Maybe whatever she want to do things in their traditional way. I don't know. Okay, whatever, fine. She decided to kind of change up how things are gonna go. Fine, whatever. So originally we were gonna like meet at my aunt's after service. That was canceled. It was like, okay, they're gonna do their thing. We'll just continue to do our thing after the service. So we get to the service. My son was supposed to basically open up and have prayer, and then everyone was gonna get up and have like a moment to just like, you know, reflections. We get to the service. She goes to the funeral director. Oh, she doesn't want anyone to get up and say anything. And like she wants to, if they do, she wants them removed from the chapel. Like, what? Then all of a sudden, like I'm going to try to figure out what's going on. Like, why would she like change everything up when we talked all week about how everything was supposed to go? So as she's coming out of the office with the chaplain, her and my son are coming out. My son is extremely upset. We come out. All of a sudden, this older lady comes and like basically just attacks my daughter, like literally like pushes my daughter like out of nowhere. And then when I tell you it was complete chaos, like baby, that funeral home was literally almost turned upside down. It was the most chaotic thing like I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I'm still so heartbroken and angry behind it. My father, he retired from the Army. He was a United States Army Ranger. He was, you know, highly decorated, well respected. And for this to take place at his service, it's just something I can't even put into words. So nonetheless, they broke it up, just basically said, okay, well, we can go say our goodbyes, and then like they could go say their goodbyes. They did the gun salute, and after that, we got up out of there. And in true Karen fashion, now, oddly enough, my bio mom's name is Karen, but we're not talking about that kind of Karen. That's a different kind of Karen. We're talking about the Karen, okay? Because the police came and everything, and so she wanted an escort home because she didn't feel safe. One of your family members, who we didn't even know who the lady was, literally just like attacked my daughter, but you don't feel safe? Okay, whatever. So from that day, never heard another word from her, no apology, nothing. My son wasn't able to get any of my dad's things. My son was also in the Army. My dad was very influential with my son, you know, in his military career. And it was just, I was in like disbelief. So it was hard for me to grieve because I was angry. And for the first time in my life, like truly angry, like to the point I'm like, God help me. Like, God help me. Like, this is not normal. Like, why am I feeling like I want to do like bodily harm to these people? And I know my dad will not be pleased with that. I know he was not pleased with how everything happened. So here it is 2 years later, and I still find myself trying to maneuver through some of those feelings. In addition to that, my sister, who we had established a pretty decent relationship over the years, we've been to the movies a couple of times. Like even when my dad passed, I told my cousin, who I originally found out from, you know, everything that had happened. I told her, so, hey, I'll call my sister and let her know, that way she can let my brothers know. And we talked every day up until the day of the service. She was supposed to come to my aunt's house. Since then, have not heard a word from her. She was like, yeah, okay, I got the address. I'll be on the way. I reached out to her. No call, no text. And I do feel like maybe it was a little bit of like guilt, because when I gave her the call and told her what happened, she said that she had been wanting to kind of reconcile. She had been thinking about reaching out to him more often and just trying to repair their relationship. And I think like seeing footage, we did like the video memorandum, and just seeing the pictures of me and my kids and having all these memories, and her not really having any of that in recent years, I'm thinking that maybe she felt some type of way or something. I don't know. But I was so heartbroken by that, on top of everything, like my dad actually passing, the craziness with his wife. And I'm like, I just don't have it in me to try to push myself onto anyone anymore. Even with finding that side of the family and trying to insert myself, even on my mom's side of the family to a certain extent, like you just get tired of feeling like I got to try to have a relationship with these people, like trying to prove that you're enough, right? Like I should just be enough on my own. I shouldn't have to go through the pomp and circumstance of what happened in my childhood or what happened or whatever. Like, hey, like we're family. That should be enough, right? So definitely I have a lot of feelings coming up with, this week being the anniversary of his passing, and then also just the loss of my dad, but also the loss of relationship with my sister, because I felt like we had done a lot of work to kind of get close. And maybe it was a facade. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we weren't close. Maybe she was just tolerating me, right? And also I feel like that's just something I don't want for my life anymore. I don't want to feel like I'm tolerated. I want to be celebrated. I want to be loved on. I don't want to be in anyone's space that does not want me there. So I don't know if you guys have had like any similar instances, or how you actually like navigate through that. I did go through counseling for a little bit, but nonetheless, I still like feel how I feel, right? Like my dad, he literally like sacrificed so many years of his life for this country, and then to, in his passing, like not even feel love from his family, and not to mention they had my dad in the casket in like sleeping clothes, like just no dignity, no honor. They put, oh, he loves cigars and he loves some type of beer or whatever, and they had like a little can of some beer, like my dad was a drunk or something. My dad was a man of poise, of this of character. Like he carried himself in a very distinct way, right? Nonetheless, we're here. Also, I feel like that did kind of like change. There was a little shift in my mindset after that, because I'm like, you know what? I don't want to just be sad on what I've lost, right? I want to focus on life. So I try to, find moments where like when I do feel sad, like, no, what can I celebrate? What can I enjoy? What would my dad have wanted to do? Like my dad, he loved him a nice whiskey or a nice scotch, let me go get me a cocktail, honey. Let me go out to dinner. Let me do something. Let me get dolled up and step out or something, right? So I find just different ways to kind of celebrate and not just get caught up, because I have been depressed after losing someone before, and I try to be mindful of not letting myself fall that deep. And with my dad, I feel like it's more anger than anything. So I don't know. I'm a work in progress. I don't have all the answers. But yeah, so like I said, just that, and additionally to some other things I've been kind of going through personally over the past couple of days, like, your girl's struggling. But nonetheless, we're here. We're going to make every day count. I'm still grateful. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for my family and my friends that I still have here. I'm grateful for the connections that will come eventually. And I still feel like there is so much that we have to be grateful for. And, and if anything, live life for those that's not here to live it, So, yeah, that's where I am in my life right now. I did want to shout out everyone that has subscribed to my channel thus far. This is video number 2. So my goal is to try to do this weekly. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it really kind of depends on hair. I am having a good hair day. I just, did a wash and a style for the week. I did my hair last Wednesday, and it lasted all the way up to today. But this morning it was kind of giving like a little crazy. So I said, let me go ahead and do my hair for the for the week. So yeah, like I said, we're in it for the long haul. maybe in one of the upcoming videos, I'll tell more of my story about, like, you know, just the dynamic with my mom and that side of the family, and even maybe how I even went about finding my dad, right? So that's it. That's all I have for now. Like, you know, I don't want to be one of the people that get on the internet crying like, oh Lord Jesus, you know. And a little bit inside of me feel like it's bubbling up a little bit, but I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna keep it cute for now. But yeah, just I'll tell everyone, love on your people while they're here, because when they're gone, they're gone. So that's all I have. Again, I'm thinking about February, maybe starting back up my book of the month, but y'all know the drill. What are y'all reading? Let me know in the comments. Again, subscribe, like, share this video. Feel free to let me know any of your thoughts or any of your coping mechanisms in the comments. I'll be more than glad to read them and respond accordingly. Also, y'all know I'm on all the other apps at Keisha. That's her. I don't know what they're going to do with the clock app over there after this weekend, but either way, I'm on all the others at Keisha. That's her. So y'all get with me. And that's all I have for today. I hope you guys have an amazing week, and thanks for getting up close with Keisha. Peace.